Greetings, this is Griff Ruby, the Nostalgia Catholic, with another Touched by an Angel episode review installment. But before I dive into the specifics of the episode, I'm realizing I've overlooked something I could have done earlier this season, and that is to introduce the way you normally and best finds all the first season episodes. And that is in this package here. This is Touched by an Angel, complete first season on DVD. So now in these early days, we'll look at the back. Who wants to see that? Okay. In these early days, it was still. This is 2004. Remember, the earliest DVD season set that I know of ever seen as a package rather than just individual episodes that may or may not be complete, was the Star Trek Next Generation series of season one, which was released in 2002. So they were still kind of figuring out if we want to do a whole television season full of DVDs, how are we going to package them? So in this very early time of it, they packaged them by having a boxed set of little DVD, skinny DVD packages, and then they would just fit inside the box set. So you would have a typical DVD set, and it's actually pretty good in one way. You have a picture that pertains to the set, and on the back, it actually describes the episodes that are to be found inside this particular one. Their names, their air dates, their sequence, and even a still from each one, the publicity still. So, well, season one was kind of ambiguous. When exactly did it begin? Did it begin with that lost pilot, the name of which it never had any, is unknown? Did it begin with the southbound bus, which could also have been regarded as kind of like a second pilot? Why you just did this regular season proper? I mean, even the next one, Show Me the Way Home, had been used as something to sell to some people, although by that point they have clearly entered regular production. So, there's no clear point. And I kind of waited until I found a particular installment where this is not available any other way. Because the episode I'm going to review today, along with maybe only one or two others before, is only available in the season set. So there'd be the first one, there'd be a second one. It takes 4 DVDs to contain all of this. Well, sort of. Okay, a third one, we'll be getting to this one, another couple of installments, and then finally beyond that, the last one. Well, you could really have done it in 3. And here's the thing. Counting from Southbound Bus onward, the first season was 13. There were 13 episodes filmed for the first season. 2 of those, which by the way happened to be numbered 112 and 113, never even got shown in the first season. They were just extra episodes left over. So that being the case, what else did they put on the 4th one? Well, they wanted to give us a little glimpse of the very, very end of the whole series. So they have the 2 parts of the very last series from season episode, a 2-parter from the end of season 9, I Will Walk With You. So that still is 3 episodes. You have one more, one of the 13th episode, and actually number 12 because the 13th is on the third one of these, but that's minor. The 2 installments of that, you still got room left over for special features. You have an extended version of executive producer Martha Williamson's 60 Minutes interview with Ed Bradley. Martha Williamson talks about Touched by an Angel, and also Touched by an Angel says farewell, because that was kind of the end. So the end had just happened the year before, in 2003, spring of 2003. The last episode, April 26, 2003, No, April 27th. That was the last of all of the Hushed by an Angel episodes ever to be aired. So, here we are about a year or so later, vaguely, I'm not sure what part of 2004. This first season set of DVDs is coming out, and 11 episodes is kind of paltry. It doesn't really give you much, you know. Now you want to bring in the additional 2 unaired episodes. That gives you 12 and 13. So, let me see here. And they had gotten aired, but later. We'll get to that shortly. So that now gets you up to 13. That's 4. Now what are you going to do? You got a whole DVD's worth of stuff. Basically 4-ish hours of material and 1 episode to go in. Well, the two parts of the last episode gives you a lot, and it still leaves you enough room for some additional supplemental materials that are kind of nice. So it's good stuff. So this is actually a very good package. So you got the package for number 4, disc 4, disc 3, okay, disc 2, and I've already showed you disc 1. And again, as I said, each of these have the episodes listed, the dates they were first aired, and fairly detailed descriptions of each one, which is pretty neat. So, and of course, 4, you got a lot of additional material there because of the interviews and things. So, now the one I'm going to be dealing with right now is on disc 2. So let's go one step further. You open this little package and you get, well, I don't have the DVD here because I have it in my machine, but that's where it will be, just one. This whole package is for one DVD. When we get to season 2, we'll have something similar, but there's 2 in each package, I think. And then when we get to later seasons, there'll be different ways of handling these things. So, without any further ado, we dive into the specifics of the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter is one of those few episodes from season 1 that does not get released anywhere except the season set, which made this a good occasion to introduce the set in general. That said, what is the heart of the matter? Well, let's start with what's going on here. Something kind of interesting happened. One thing, you see Monica in the foreground. It's a lovely wilderness spot, talking on a computer to Tess. In fact, throughout this whole episode, Tess will be seen a number of times, always as a character on a computer screen or a television screen. I can only assume that maybe she wasn't available for the shooting, but they could get the relevant things in there, have her record them some other time before or after, or in a whole different location, whatever it was, so that she would be able to at least have a real presence on this episode. But for some reason she's on that and she'll talk about, well, I'm on a case of my own doing whatever. So anyway, Monica's talking with Tess on the okay. Now we introduce one of the main dramatis personae, this gentleman here, who is always afraid he's going to have a heart attack. He's sure he's going to die. Every little thing. The man lives in just fear of everything. He gets a decent job. I'm not sure how he's been able to do that, but somehow there he is. And he's always afraid of getting laid off and fired, whatever. So anyway, and he's a lawyer. He does a lot of estates, wills, and he has a particular fascination for living wills. An odd mention here. I have to wonder why would we even include such a thing, but we do. But living wills are kind of an intriguing thought in themselves. I guess it's kind of saying, if I'm dying, here's what I do or don't want you to do. Sometimes these things can be, that gets to do a whole area of that could be a discussion. What would be warranted? Do you want to do literally everything possible to save a person's life if they're at the point of dying, either of some disease or just sheer old age? Or do you kind of get to a point where we're not going to resort to excessive or extraordinary means, which should be the most reasonable thing put? You can say that. But you can't say, look, if I'm that miserable, give me a shot that kills me. You're asking for murder. But what you can do is say, I don't want anything beyond certain things. Don't put a tube down my throat to feed my stomach. Don't feed me intravenously. If I'm so far gone, I need a thing like that to survive. That's extraordinary measure. It's difficult, it's expensive, it's painful. People in all other ages, up until fairly very recent times, wouldn't have even been able to have survived by such a means. So there's no good reason that I should be obliged to have to keep living that way, or that my family should have to try to keep me alive that way. So you could do that. Or you could say, I want more extreme stuff. I'm rich, I got a huge amount of insurance, I can cover it one way or another. Please sustain my life as absolutely long as possible, no matter what. I mean, you could say that too if you wanted. And that, strictly speaking, wouldn't be immoral, but it could place quite a burden on your family unless, like I said, you're leaving them plenty of money to be able to afford all that sort of thing. So, anyway, this is what he does, but he's in for some adventures. So let's talk about those adventures. This gentleman is his boss. You can just see from his intensity there. Picture Bill Lumberg from Office Space without those humorous, I'm gonna have to ask you to move your desk. He's not quite that. Imagine without the humorous aspect. So anyway, now this is the next lady. This is Robin Dunleavy. Well, he has the job of conveying the fact that the uncle of Robin Dunleavy has passed away and left her $200,000 in his will. Hey, that's a boon. And this lady, living in literally a camper that some guy is renting out to her, this is a major boon. $200,000. This is incredible. She says, I didn't even know I had an uncle. And now suddenly he thinks of me. Oh, it's so awesome. Well, it turns out he made a mistake. I say our man, a young lawyer friend. Here's his boss with the actual Robin Dunleavy that the uncle was meaning to leave his money to. Completely different person, different family, just the same name. And now this first Robin has got $200,000 of this lady's money. Oops. So this is a catastrophe. So much that our guy passes out, and he has to wake up, and here's all these people. Monica has shown up. Robin Dunleavy's still in the background, and in the foreground is his boss. You see him here in the exact moment of telling him, "You're fired." So that is one kind of an interesting place to be. So he is panicking, but Monica will help him on that. Now we start having little interventions there. So the obvious thing to do, the sensible thing, is go get some money. Go get the money back from her if you can. Hope she doesn't spend too much, right? Well, first we got to find her. Go back to the place that she'd been renting. The landlord just says, nope, paid up, moved out, gone. All gone. The landlord seems to be this guy who runs some sort of gardening thing. You look in his truck, his flowers aren't doing so well. Monica does a little, and all of a sudden, the flowers are all blossoming. So since she's able to coax those flowers into blossoming, he's willing to do her the favor of helping her know where she lives. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now you can see the flowers look more extensive. Okay. So they move in here. There's this big empty, one of those large kind of studio apartments that you might find in, say, New York City, where it's not really meant for a living quarter, but people can turn it into one. kind of roomy but spacey, high ceilinged, interesting view of glass. But at any rate, and as they get there, these two guys are bringing in what you see here, an Egyptian sarcophagi. The lady that Robin Dunlop, the one we're concerned with from here on out, really, has randomly purchased. It was only a spare 70,000, and by this point the guy's all, "You just spent $70,000 of the 200 on this thing." He starts to faint. He's falling back. The expression on this guy is really funny. He's fainting. Okay. He's always in a continual state of panic. Meanwhile, Tess makes another appearance. They're returning things. They're in a shoe store. And Tess appears on a television set. And I don't know what a television set would be doing in a shoe store. But anyway, she sees these little red shoes right over here. You know? Well, I guess the angel wants to wear somebody's red shoes. You know, because Tess is looking at, can you give me those numbers there? You know? And so that's kind of an interesting side thing. Okay. So, but at any rate, she can't return the shoes because she customized it. It's supposed to be just a bare set of shoes that look like this. She's put stuff all over the toes. She's given it custom shoelaces. She's done other custom jobs to it. No way can I give you your money back for this thing. So now our guy's learning, obviously that's going to have to come out of his pocket. Okay, now it's going to cost him, but I think it's going to cost to keep his job. All right, so now, what's it doing? All right. Well, another place they have to do to try to get $17,000, 17, not 70, is at this rather scummy place where Robin's had some boyfriend who's really scummy. And I guess the boyfriend or somebody there owes somebody else $17,000 for a bad bet on a horse or some dumb thing like that. So they go there and says, well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a bet here. Let's rack them up and see. Well, Monica's an angel, if you recall, and she's got some serious ability. We'll rack them up there, all cute and charming and ready to get this guy there. I don't think I show him. Well, you may see him in the motion picture here. And she does this extraordinary shot. If I can make this extraordinary shot and can teach you how to do it, what will you do for this? Well, let's take a look here. Let's go. Come on. There we go.
4 and 3. Into the corner, into the 2 opposite corner, into the 5 side pocket, is the 8.
What are you, delusional? You won't block by the 8.
See the guy taking it again. He has to go in last. So, you can see the guy is obviously collapsing. And now, give back the $17,000. I'll teach you how to do this shot. Well, sort of. But anyway, that's she starts launching into all this technical psychobabble about, never mind. He doesn't really give it to her, but that's okay. It turns out that the bet hadn't even really been lost. He was just coming at her with this, I lost a bunch of money, help me out, and he hadn't even really lost the money. So, but as they're kind of sitting there waiting for the later meeting to teach the thing and get the $17,000, she's kind of sitting there. You can see that Robin's kind of starting to get some feelings for him in her way of expressing things. Indeed, they have a chance to kind of go in the sort of an area where they just sit down and have a little something to drink, and a chance to really talk and get to know each other. And next thing you know, he's kind of finding out, he's got real feelings for her. Let's dance a little bit, you know. So, which is kind of an interesting turn of events. But now they're down to the last $20,000. No, he says, I'm not paying that back. I can't get that back. And he's, well, of course I can. I'm a lawyer. I can get all kinds of stuff back. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. Don't even ask for that. And then she leaves. She doesn't explain why. Just, we're not getting that last $20,000. So he's like, what am I going to do? He panics again. He falls back on the floor. And, well, there's another little shot here.
There's nothing wrong with your heart.
That's not true. I'm dying.
Easy, Charles. You're safe.
This is our Angel Glow
This is
moment.
the last time this will ever happen. Trust me.
Ah, see?
This isn't one of those near-death experiences, is it?
In a way.
Where's the tunnel? Did I miss it?
So,
Nothing wrong with your heart.
and if you caught it very briefly in there, you see in the background a little bit of a Confederate flag. They're in this bar, seedy sort of, maybe like Alabama type of bar or something, and it's 1994, where you could go in the bar and you could see stuff like that as part of the decor. Both kinds of flags are there, by the way, Confederate and Union, but they're there in the bars, kind of decor. You got all these kind of surly looking bearded characters who, look like they belong in a motorcycle gang or something, kind of tough dudes, you probably wouldn't want to meet up with them. Well, turns out the $20,000. Let's go see. You scared her away. Now what are you gonna do? He says, well, where do you go? And it's a nice thing because he's remembering how part of his fear came from when he was little. He ran away from home for whatever reason, and nobody even noticed he was gone, and that devastated him. I don't know. That devastated him. He said, where did you go to hide? And then he thought, well, in their conversation, she told where she would go to hide sometimes. And he listened to it, and next thing you know, it turns out, he talks about being around these angels, which she named Mo and Larry and Shemp and Curly, and a place where you get a sunrise over a coffee pot. And it all sounds wonderfully weird. I mean, this old girl's character is just a lovable, loony kind of person, but clearly trying to be good, trying to be nice, trying to just do the right thing by people and so forth. She's not a bad person in any real way. She's just really kind of silly and goofy, but in a creative, fun sort of way that you never know. Well, it turns out all of those clues point to where she was as a child, point to the days in her orphanage, where apparently this orphanage is still in operation, at least at this time. Nice old statue there. It is or was Catholic. Well, we don't drill into that detail too much. At any rate, she owes her childhood upbringing to this place, and she decided to donate $20,000 to help them out for some things, and she's not about to take the $20,000 back from that. That was a generous donation. And here we get to see, there she is in the front. Those are some of the angels that she'd sit around at the front of like a decoration. We don't get to see the sun rising over the coffee pot, unfortunately, because that's a billboard that was replaced by a building. Okay. So, but they're sitting up there, and he's realizing he loves this woman, and she's realizing, I love you too. Very emotional, and so it's a happy ending. You got this guy, he's constantly afraid that his heart's going to stop. Nothing's wrong with his heart. What's really wrong with his feelings? He's just kind of using that as an excuse to, not expose his emotions in any big way anymore. So this is a big step for him. And it's a fun, lighthearted story, but it's also kind of cute, and you have to kind of enjoy it. I don't know what to say about all this. It's just it's a cute story. I kind of enjoy it. I have to admit. I think it's one of the more fun episodes that we'll have, and I wish I had more to say about it. It's a nice episode. It's worth watching. Um, Again, as with most of these, which really is a good thing when they do this, they focus on the people themselves and their difficulties, their traumas, their beginning to overcome these things, and so on and so forth. So, and not really much on the world of God and who the angels, what real angels would be like, and things of that nature. So, it's a fun episode. Well, thanks for listening.